at CUInsight.com, and I am bringing you a 3 questions video interview today. I am joined by the head of consulting at CRMNEXT, Carol Clagett. So excited to have her with us. She has been in financial services for over 30 years in a variety of different roles at the executive level. So she's worn the hat that many credit union leaders out there have worn, knows what you are dealing with. So excited to have you here, Carol. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for having me, Lauren. I'm excited to speak to you about my experience in CRMNEXT.
I'm excited too. Well, we love our relationship with CRMNEXT, such a cool organization. I'm curious, as we just dive right in here, how does CRMNEXT help credit unions to get more out of their core processor?
Yeah, so what we find with the core is, it's static data. And a lot of what we do is orchestrate the data so that you can have all of that in harmony in one place so that everything is a central repository. We also allow you to have leads and service workflows, as well as something as simple as notes. And you think about with COVID, people were out, people all of a sudden were working something, and there was no insight as to what they were doing. And this really allows you to say, hey, okay, this person's out. We know who's working on it. We know what the status is. And that's completely across the organization, whether you're in the call center or you're in the branch or your back office or you're an executive. Everybody sees the same thing. And something as simple as notes. A lot of times, at least in my past experience, people would put notes on at the call center that the branch couldn't see and vice versa. And that just resulted in a whole lot of calling, a lot of confusion, and a bad experience for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, so cool to hear about the work that you all are doing to help solve for that. I know too, we've got a lot of credit unions in the industry right now who are working on their data and making some of their data initiatives. And I'm curious, how does CRMNEXT help all of these different credit unions make those data initiatives more strategic?
Exactly. Well, a lot of what we do is work to make the data actionable. What we'll find is that a lot of places have not empowered their associates because at the credit union, if they expose a specific screen, there are a lot of different fields on there. And what we can do is put up guardrails to say, hey, we can give you access to just the data that we want you to either see or be able to change. And we aren't not just the CRM. We also allow you to manipulate that data. So if you want to change addresses, also use the data to do behavior analytics. What's the next best recommended product? What is the behavior that they're doing that would drive you to say, this could be someone who is disengaging and we could potentially lose this member. So get in front of that and being proactive.
That is amazing. I think that there are so many ways that credit unions could use data, and a lot of them just have it sitting there. And I know even in our organization, we can be guilty of that sometimes. So it's so good to hear about the work you're doing. All right, my third question for you is all around IT purchases and the costs associated. So how does CRMNEXT help credit unions maybe offset some of their IT purchases or the costs that are associated with managing so much data and all of the different applications?
Absolutely. So a lot of what we do is replace legacy systems that are already being used. They become obsolete because we've got all that data. You look at the very expensive data integration tools, those are no longer needed because we're doing that. So that is our superpower is data integration. So utilize us. Another thing that we do is we are your partner. It's not like another company, which will go unnamed, that actually just sells you the product and leaves you. You're stuck with us whether you like it or not. And we're going to make sure that you know our best practices. We're going to share all of our experience with our other clients and work with you. And that is part of the cost that is involved from the beginning. It is not additional professional services. You've got someone assigned to your account for the life that you're with us. So that is a huge cost savings as well. And our administrative costs are basically nil. There's very, very minimal involvement from the side of the credit union as far as just updating people in the system, any type of very small changes. But so there's a lot of different ways that we can save. One other thing that we do is we charge by size of the organization, not by seats. So you're not paying us license fees, and therefore you know how much you're going to pay, and it doesn't go up and down as you go through a merger or acquisition or something.
That is so important. Well, I love hearing all of that. I love what you said too about you're stuck with us for the life of the account. And I can personally attest that there are so many great people over at CRMNEXT. So definitely not a hardship to be stuck with you. All right. Well, Carol, as we wrap up the conversation, I'm curious, do you have any final thoughts or final asks of our audience today?
Well, I would just say that I would not have left a 30-year career in financial services to come work for CRM Next unless I didn't truly believe in the product. And I know from my past experience that if I had a tool like this, how much easier my life would have been, how much easier it would have been for our employees and our members. And I would encourage all of you to reach out if you have questions. You can find me on LinkedIn or you can find the information on our website. We'd love to talk to you.
Amazing. Well, we will be sure to link in the post here to some contact information for Carol and her team over at CRM Next, a link over to their site as well. So, Carol, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It's really great to hear about all the work you're doing at CRM Next. And hopefully, I'll get to run into you in person someday soon. And until then, take care.
That would be lovely. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Carol.